welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Alyssa and I just finished filming this look, so you will see this video of this look before this video goes up, so I should be able to link it. Today I'm doing an update for my Pans in Every Palette project, and there are lots of people out there who do Pan in Every Palette project, and the idea that you want to have an eyeshadow pan in every single palette, but I want to do more than that. I want to, have pans in everything. So, I kind of think of it as levels, that if I have, one eyeshadow pan, then that's a level 1 type of thing. And then, I can move to the 2 pan level and the 3 pan and so on. And, so some of my palettes are already like on a higher level and some are lower. And, I'm just trying to get all of them to have more pans. So I realized when I did my introduction video that there were some palettes that I didn't actually say how many pans were there, and I'm not absolutely positive, because those of course were the palettes where I had a little bit of I had marked down that I had a pan, but then I marked again that I had a pan. I'm like, wait, hold on, which one was first? Was that other one did I not actually hit pan, or did I hit pan and then cover back up and forget about it? I don't know. There was some weirdness with those palettes. So I'm going to go ahead and give an update on all of my palettes at this point, and I also just wrote down everything right now as it is, so that when I'm later I had 5 pans. Did I have 5 pans before, or, is this new? Because sometimes I forget. So if you want to know the status of the pans in all of my eyeshadow palettes, then please keep watching. So some of the different palettes that I'm considering palettes, maybe you wouldn't, maybe they're kind of more singles, but the way I'm sort of storing them or thinking of them is as a palette. So, my palette definition might be a little bit more vague, but some of these you definitely know about. And some of these pans you know about just because I've already talked about them in my All Eyeshadows on Deck project, or maybe Deck of Panning, or just, random other here and there, oh, I had a new pan type of thing. So first off, my Crystallized palette is the newest palette in my collection. I got it at Christmas time, and I was very disappointed in a way to hit my first pan because it only took 6 uses. And that was this eyeshadow pan right here. But you might notice that now there is another eyeshadow pan right here, which this one was also then, not very many uses. I think it was 8 uses. So there you go. But I can say that this palette is now in the 2 pan club. So, there is that, because I do like it a lot. And the matte shadows I feel are going to last me a while. The shimmers though, not sure, because apparently I hit pan really quickly. Another palette that is not really an exciting palette, because I feel you already know, my Pacific Northwest palette was my second newest palette, if you will. I got this one in the fall. And I have one eyeshadow pan that is really hard to spot in this shade right here. It's just a little bit of metal that's over there. And I am working on getting pan in this eyeshadow in my Pan the Rainbow in Order project. So this is my green shade, but you can see there is no pan yet. And, I don't think it's coming anytime soon. I feel I still have a bunch more uses. So I don't have any other pans. I feel if I was to get another eyeshadow pan that's not the green, this shade up here was kind of feeling a little thin, and some of these, just maybe this one even, around this area. It feels I just kind of end up using more the edges sometimes of these shadows. I think because of the imprint, I was sort of working around that a bit. But yeah, this is still just one eyeshadow pan, but it is still fairly new. But, I want to make sure I'm using it and all that. So, we'll see. My Fairy Tale Fairies palette, this is one that, like I said, I think was already spoiled in my All Eyeshadows on Deck. I only had one eyeshadow pan when I last updated you, but now I have 2 eyeshadow pans, and they are nice and shiny. And I don't feel I'm super close in anything else. I talked about that. Oh, actually, maybe it was in the All Eyeshadows on Deck, but it's also, I did film an update from my Project Level Up Light, which actually this might go up before that. I'm not sure. So, because I just filmed that one recently. So who knows? But I talked a bit in that video, so you know, either way, all about like which eyeshadow I thought would be next for hitting pan and that kind of thing. But right now, we're just at 2. My Rogue palette, there has been no change. I had 2 eyeshadow pans in my last update. I had just gotten the other pan and I'm still just at 2. I haven't been using this palette recently just because it had already gotten the 10 uses on everything and I put it away for now. It could be for spring, but it doesn't scream spring as much to me as some of these other ones. So it's, you know, getting a little rest right now. My Matriarch palette, I did deconstruct it, so it's kind of here and there and there. So for example, I have 2 of the eyeshadows are sitting, they're the square pans in here, and one of them is right here. So this one has a pan, it has had a pan, and the red eyeshadow was my red for the pan, the Rainbow in Order project. So I do have a very tiny pan in that. And then this shade, honestly, I don't know when I hit pan on it because I kind of feel like I've had it for a while, but then I don't think I had it marked down. I don't know. So I do have, and in my last update, I only talked about having 2 pans. So I guess I must have hit this since then, but I don't know. So I'm at 3 pans in the Matriarch palette, and I just wanted to make sure that I said that so that in my next update, I know what the number is. For my palette that maybe you don't consider a palette because it really is just singles, but I got it as a palette, so that's how I consider it a palette. I only had this yellow pan before, but now I have pan in this one, and I said I knew I was close, and so, you know, I did get that one. So 2 of the 5 have a pan now. But this one is also one that has been put away for now because I have gotten all the uses on all the shades, so it's taking a little breather. But actually right now I'm kind of in the mood to put it back in. I like using it like on my brow bone and stuff, so I think I'm gonna throw it back in. It's just like small, cute little thing that it's easy to do that with. Another palette I haven't been using for a while because I got the uses in, but this would be a great time of year to use it, but I do have my Citrus Punch palette as well, so it's very similar vibes. But I only have 3 pans in this, and that's what I've been at then for a while, so it is the 3 shimmers, and I don't see myself, well, I don't know, I would like to hit pan in one of the mattes, and some of them have pretty big dips, but none have a pan. All right, now this one does have new pans, or maybe just one. Sorry, just one from the last time. So last time I had these 2 eyeshadow pans. This is my C'est La Vie palette, and I do have a pan in this eyeshadow now, so 3 of them in a row. And this is also like on the newer side, but the shimmers, what happened? I don't know, did I drop the palette? No, something was weird, and like this one came out or something, I don't know. And that's why like there's a lot of kind of a mess as well, and with the shadows, but I was able to kind of work them back in, but they were always a little bit looser, and you know, the mattes were fine though, thankfully, so because the mattes are much harder to try to like repair, I feel like. Now here was the palette where I'm like, how many did I have before? I'm not sure. It might have just been the 7 that I currently have, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and say I have 7 eyeshadow pans in the Dollhouse palette, so we know. I've got the blue, the white, the pink, actually almost this entire top row, except for this shade right here. They all have pan. And then I have this, because this was in my deck of panning. Was it a Joker prompt? It might have been the Joker. And that, you know, to hit a pan in a Blend Bunny matte, I knew it would take me a while, so there we go. And then I also have this big one in this purple shade. So lots of pans, but it is getting old. Like I've had this now 3 years. That's wild. Sickly Sweet is another one where I'm not exactly certain how many I had because I hadn't talked about in the intro. Shame on me. I want to say that the most I had was 7 because I just got a bunch of new pans recently. So we're going to go with 7, but I am now at 10. So I've got this shimmer here. I've got this orange matte, this green shimmer. Make sure you can see those. This kind of looked like it had one, but it doesn't. This yellow matte was a recent one. This was an older one. And then this was a recent one. You can see there's actually like a little double pan, if you can see that or not sure. This purple matte, shimmer was I think my first pan in this palette. And I have this pink shimmer, which is one of the favorite eyeshadows in my collection, so that makes sense. This pink matte was also a recent one, and that was very much like I went in just to use the pink as I do, and I'm like, oh, there's a pan. And that was what happened in this shade as well. So these are two of my favorite shades in this palette as well. And then this shimmer. The shimmers are just easy to hit pan on because, I don't know, they're not as firmly packed in there. I need a little bit more than the matte eyeshadows, I guess. That's part of it. All right, another palette that you might not, well, it was sold as a palette, so that's why I'm gonna count it as one. But they're kind of like singles, and so I did try to put them in here the way they were in the palette. So this is the Treasure Chest palette from Shine by SD, and so you should be able to see that I have, actually it almost looks like I have pan in this one, but I don't, right? Yeah, there's no pan there. But I do have pan in 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are actually pan. They're just so shiny and sparkly. So I think that it was 3, because then I just hit a new one. Now, which one was it? Might have been this one. That might have been my most recent one. And then that was number 4, I think. But, you know, I get excited when I hit them and then I just kind of move on. Also with these, like, they're iridescent, and it's really hard to tell which is which. Like, I have to usually look in the pan, kind of like, wait, which one was the greeny one? And then, or swatch them a bit and kind of see, like, how are they actually gonna look? So. And finally, I have my Citrus Punch palette, which this one, I only had 2 pans the last time I talked about it in this project. And I am actually up to 4. So the yellow you would know about from my Pan the Rainbow in Order, because this was the yellow. And I'm trying to think which other, I think I had the Pan and Fizz, or was it Clementine? I'm not sure. But last time I definitely had the green, so maybe it was green in this one, and maybe I just got this one. I'm sorry. Okay, but I'm at 4, all right? And you can always look back. Now this one looks like it has a pan, but it's just like a little air bubble type of thing that was there. So it's not, there's green that's under it. It's not actually a pan showing or even close. I mean, maybe close, maybe. Actually, I'm wrong. I do have a pan. Well, shoot, now I gotta mark that down. I just realized it because when I was looking at it from like this angle or this, it just looks green, but no, that's pan. Okay, I just hit pan in number 5. Well, not just, because I did this yesterday. I think I used it yesterday. All right, I'm gonna mark that down. So with all of those palettes, I have 49 pans, and I know I have it on my spreadsheet, but I guess I could put the number up if editing me, pay attention, woo! I know I have over 200 or something like that eyeshadows that are in palettes. So, if I'm trying to hit pan in every single one, some of these are kind of the really easy ones, like some of the shimmers and things like that. Like, I mean, you can tell that Pacific Northwest palette, it's going to take me a long time to hit pan on those eyeshadows. So some of them, it might be a long time. And I have singles that I'm also trying to use and hit pans and all that as well. But I do feel really satisfied that, the palettes that are the oldest do have a good number of pans, or at least really good dips that I'm getting closer. And I feel like it's also motivating. So like, for instance, that Juicy Boost palette, now I'm kind of tempted to bring it back into my makeup bag and see if I can make some of those dips have a pan and move it from a, 3-pan club to the 4-pan club or something like that. So, it's motivating that it's not just how many times I've used the eyeshadows, but like, I'm trying to do that. I'm also trying to, hit pans and, make sure that the old makeup is still getting loved and moved up with that as well. So So I hope you enjoyed seeing this update. I want to thank you for watching, and until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye! I can put all of these. I don't think I can hold all these. We got like, there's like not even, would you even know if I didn't have them all here? Like, is there gonna be someone out there who's like counting and like, oh, you missed one? Because I mean, honestly, did you know that I didn't have one? I'm lying, this is actually all of them, so.